Star Tours 2.0 opens to thunderous applause and special guests. And when can $40,000 be considered cheap? It's Friday, May 20th, and you'll hear about those stories and more this week in Star Wars. This Week in Star Wars is your source for new and noteworthy developments from the galaxy far, far away. I'm your host, Matt Fox. And now this week's lead story. The eagerly awaited revamp of the Star Tours ride at the Disney Hollywood Studios theme park in Orlando, Florida, opened today to thunderous applause. Entitled Star Tours: The Adventures Continue, is a 3D ride featuring over 50 possible storyline ride experiences. As was rumored earlier in the week, the flanneled one himself, Star Wars creator George Lucas, attended the opening festivities in person, as well as Disney CEO Bob Iger. Also in attendance were several Star Wars notables, including Dave Filoni, the director of Star Wars The Clone Wars, C-3PO himself, Anthony Daniels, Ashley Eckstein, Ahsoka from The Clone Wars, young Boba Fett Daniel Logan, James Arnold Taylor, primarily the voice of Obi-Wan, although a number of other voices on The Clone Wars, and many, many people in costumes. Photos and details of the premiere are available on the Disney Parks blog. Visitors to that site will see that today was also a special sneak preview opening day of the Star Tours ride at the Disneyland Park in Anaheim, California. Several thousand fans lined up early in the morning to take a sneak preview ride of the California edition of the 3D Star Wars experience. The ride is scheduled for its public opening on June 3rd. And now this week's collecting news.
Me? I'm a collecting fool.
Many new products were announced this week by many high-end collectible manufacturers. Gentle Giant led the way with the announcement of their Ponda Baba, also known as Walrus Man statue, earlier this week, which is going to be a Premier Guild member exclusive. The statue comes with 2 sets of hands, flippers and furry, depending upon how you like your Walrus Man, and will join the line of Cantina Alien statues, which currently includes Greedo and blue-suited Snaggletooth, and Gentle Giant's ongoing effort to recreate the second wave of vintage action figures as statues. While exact details have not yet been announced, based on prior experience, we can expect the statue to be numbered in the hundreds and will probably cost in the hundreds, more specifically probably around 200. Pictures and details are available on Gentle Giant's Facebook page, which you can get to from the This Week in Star Wars Facebook page. Sideshow Collectibles was not left out of the game this week, as they announced a 1/6 scale Sand Trooper and Dewback figure, which will be available for pre-order next Thursday, May the 26th. On the same day, a new premium format figure will be available, this time an original trilogy character, none other than the Stormtrooper. Photos and ordering details for both of these products are available on the SideshowCollectibles.com website. Sandtroopers.com is at it again. Previously unseen carded images of 2 new Vintage Collection figures appeared in their forums this week. The Rebel Fleet Trooper on a New Hope Episode 4 card, and a Barriss Ophi Attack of the Clones Episode 2 card. These photos appeared just days after new images, carded and loose, of the upcoming prototype Boba Fett mail-away figure appeared on the site. In a remotely related story, we now know that Rebel Fleet Trooper, which premieres in Wave 7, will also be shipping in Wave 8. We know this because Entertainment Earth posted several new Star Wars cases for pre-order, including 2 versions of Wave 8, the first of which will include some of the Revenge of the Jedi chase figure cards, as well as 3 new waves of Clone War figures, including a number of rumored but now fairly well confirmed figures, including 2 versions of Savage Opress and the obligatory many, many, many new clones. The cases are available for pre-order or informational purposes at the Entertainment Earth website, although photos are not yet available. And if you are interested in ordering, I encourage you to do so by using the link on the This Week in Star Wars homepage. A bittersweet reprieve for Galactic Heroes collectors out there. Several months after the announcement that the line was going to be brought to an end by Hasbro, there are now reports that the AT-ST set has been spotted at Toys R Us's. This battle pack, which had previously only been sighted in the United Kingdom, had been slated to be a Kohl's exclusive last fall. However, when it never materialized, collectors began to wonder whether it was ever going to show up stateside. The battle pack is titled AT-ST Assault, and in addition to the two-legged walker, also includes 4 Galactic Heroes figures.
This book is devastating.
This week's publishing news: Jedi: The Dark Side is the new Dark Horse miniseries featuring the exploits of Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi prior, obviously, to Episode 1, and the first issue was in stores this week. To save on gas money, you may want to wait until next Wednesday to pick that book up, when you'll also be able to pick up Darth Vader and the Lost Command number 5 and Legacy War number 6. Of course, you probably won't have time to do that, as you will no doubt be fully engrossed in the 7th volume of the Fate of the Jedi series, Conviction, which will be published next Tuesday, May the 24th, which seems like an eternity since Vortex, the 6th volume, was published last year. The paperback edition of the Old Republic Fatal Alliance will also be available next Tuesday, which should get your Star Wars summer reading list off to quite a start. Well, what if you don't like words and other confusing things? Well, there's Family Guy, and this week's episode, the season finale, will be the It's a Trap Return of the Jedi parody, which was available on home video last year. Lastly this week, the original acetate featuring the opening crawl from The Empire Strikes Back was sold at auction this week. To be clear, this is the original piece that was used in the production of the original film back in 1980. Given that the opening crawls are possibly one of the most iconic elements of all of the Star Wars films, and that The Empire Strikes Back is one of the 2, if not the most loved of all the Star Wars films, one might have expected this piece of memorabilia to go for quite a high price. Pre-auction estimates had it pegged at a relatively affordable $10,000 to $15,000. In the end, it went for $40,000, which, given those pre-auction estimates, seems like quite a haul. But when you take into account the number of Star Wars fans out there and the amount of money some of the more well-heeled Star Wars fans are willing to pay, $40,000 almost sounds like a bargain. Especially when you compare it to the fact that the car from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang sold for $2.6 million at the same auction. No word on who was offering the Star Wars memorabilia, but the story is summarized at crunchgear.com, which is linking to an article at therichtimes.com. I saw that new Pirates of the Caribbean movie today, and it made me think about Star Wars in 2 ways. First, I saw it in 3D. It's only the second feature film I've ever seen in 3D, and I gotta say, I'm still not entirely sure what all the hubbub's about. Now, this movie that I saw today had the advantage of being filmed with the intention of it being shown in 3D. That's not the case with the Star Wars films. Now, I never saw Avatar, and I know that they say that that looked great, and they're using that same process with Star Wars. So, of course I'm going to go see them. I just hope they make it worth my while. The other thing that made me think about Star Wars was a preview that I saw for the Lord of the Rings movies. Now, apparently they're bringing each of the 3 films back for one night only on successive weeks, with the extended editions, with some value added to get the Hobbit fans to come out and see them again. That made me realize this is what I'd like Lucasfilm to do. Bring back those films with their new remastered Blu-ray versions, put them in the theater for a night or a week each, and let me see them all on the big screen again with a big group of people. It'd be fun. And that was This Week in Star Wars. Join us again next week for more news, notes, and developments from the galaxy far, far away. Visit our website, www.thisweekinstarwars.com, or, if you're in a hurry, www.twisw.com. There you can find past episodes, links to some of the stories we discussed, as well as photo galleries and other interesting Star Wars-related tidbits. You can also find links to the other realms of the This Week in Star Wars media empire, including our breaking news Twitter feed, our Facebook page, as well as links to email addresses where you can contact the show. If you have questions or comments or news suggestions, we encourage you to contact us at host@thisweekinstarwars.com. Help us grow the community. If you enjoyed this podcast, please leave a positive review at iTunes. You've been listening to This Week in Star Wars. We troll the web so you don't have to.
This Week in Star Wars is not affiliated with Lucasfilm, its subsidiaries, or any other entity mentioned in this podcast. Star Wars, its characters, and creations are the property of Lucasfilm. All other trademarks are property of their respective trademark owners. This Week in Star Wars is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. This podcast is copyright 2010 This Week in Star Wars. Invaluable technical assistance provided by WebStorm Interactive. News, comments, and questions can be directed to host@thisweekinstarwars.com. More information, links to stories presented, past episodes, and additional contact information are available at www.thisweekinstarwars.com.